I was losing 4-2. I got a 2 beautiful takedown by Lousada, you know, from checkmate. And Marcelo, he's a black belt in judo, but I always like to fight. Like if you're a black belt judo, if you're a wrestler, I want to fight in your game to see, like challenge myself, you know, to see if I can catch you in there, you know, in your own game. So I was trying to stand up with him, you know, and I got tossed twice, and I learned, and I started pulling guard, and started playing my game. And in the last 26 seconds again, you know, I pulled it off like a triangle again, and that was also memorable because I got my, I think it was the third world championship title, you know. And that made me really excited to go to the absolute, and ended up winning the absolute in the same year. So I got double gold, you know. So it was good memories too, you know. So that's the one I kind of raised, you know. It was Checkmate versus Gracie Barra. Nowadays we're very good friends between Checkmate and myself, you know. But before we were like fighting like toe to toe, you know. So inside the mats we have the competition has to have it, but outside we all friends, you know. It was very memorable. I remember that one. I've been training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu since 1996, so making the math here is getting close to like 20 years, you know, 19 years, getting in March. Today, let's go ahead the ball. Thank you, Professor. Good job, guys. Let's go, it's new year, new change. You deserve it. I believe like most of the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu practitioner, you know, back home in Brasilia, this is my hometown, it's the capital of Brazil. There was not much jiu-jitsu going on over there, but I started actually getting familiar. Some friends showed me like a videotape of the greatest fight in the UFC, and I saw that amazing. You know, we started just messing around on the streets, you know, and finally one purple belt instructor came from Rio de Janeiro all the way to Brazil to start teaching jiu-jitsu, you know, and that's when I got started training on Brazilian jiu-jitsu back in 1996. In Gracie Barra was like a big transition, you know, after a couple of years training under Gabriel Ramos. And that's when Professor Jucão, he's the Carlos Gracie Jr.'s black belt. He came into the town to start to work with Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You know, he started his team in Brasilia, and my instructor back then, Gabriel Ramos, started training with him. And then he ended up leaving, and then I decided to stay with Professor Jucão, and I stayed there until my brown belt, you know. And my brown belt and black belt, it was under Carlos Gracie Jr. directly. That was an opportunity for me to come here to fight the Pan Ams back in 2006, and it was just an opportunity to fight the Pan Ams and see what is jiu-jitsu, how big jiu-jitsu in America, you know. And I see the big potential, you know, and especially one of my former professors, Fabio Costa. He's now back in Atlanta. He actually brought me back to Atlanta first, you know, and after the Pan Ams, you know, I got my black belt on the Carlos Gracie Jr. and then I felt right to stay, you know, and pursue my career here in America. And we're still grinding there, still pushing. My first competition, it's hard to remember, but it was right my first year of training, you know, back in 1996. I was white belt, you know, myself, I feel pale, you know, I was like really nervous, and I got choked out in front of my parents, you know, like in a minute or so, but it was a lesson learned, you know, that pushed me, you know, say, hey, I can do this, I can be the one finish next time, you know, and that was, I think was my drive, you know. I like to compete since the beginning, you know. It took me a while to get the pace, but once I got it, you know, it's still in my blood, it's still competing. You know, it will be hard to stop it, but yes, it's like jiu-jitsu lifestyle, you know, and the competition, I found a way to motivate me to continue training and stay focused, you know, all year long. So that's why I keep it with the whole calendar, you know. As a matter of fact, I'm already planning and competing at the end of the month, and that's when I started my competition calendar, you know, and don't stop until December. So we stay all year long active, you know. I think the down part of this here is just your body cannot take it. It gets in a point there you start feeling the injuries. It's pretty much your body tells you, you know, slow down a little bit, you know. But I think it's my motivation. When I have a competition ahead of me, you know, that's what pushes me to come to the mat and stay consistent, stay focused here, you know. And being a leader on the team, you know, that's kind of like another drive for me, you know. I need to lead by example, stay active, stay focused in there, and do what I love, you know. It's not hard work for me to be on the mat and train hard, you know. The only thing keep me out of it here is the injuries. Even with the injuries, you know how we are, you know. We still do whatever we can, you know, adapt to train a little bit here and there, but we make it happen. Back in the days, you don't have much of the experience, you know what to expect. And I believe the difference between back then and then nowadays, I pretty much know who I'm facing, because when you get in a black belt, pass on, so we start feeling people come from the brown belt level, next year who you're gonna start facing, or those guys that probably when you're a brown belt, we start look up to them, oh, there's the next black belt heavyweights. For instance, I was already facing them, so we already started knowing their game. So I think the strategy comes down a lot, and there's know who you will fight on the bracket. You start playing, building your strategy, to see each fight who you fight, what will be a strategy, So back the days we didn't even know, like the bracket is so huge, in a blue belt level, it's just like 7-8 fights to get the gold medal, You just have to go one fight at a time. So that's, I think, the big difference. Of course, Jiu-Jitsu evolves constantly, every year. I could see this clearly competing since 1996. That actually the BJJF first tournament that I did, it was 1998, was a Brazilian national, and it was like a juvenile. I was like 16 years old, and I could see that was pretty much, we see just close guard, triangles, arm bars. That's pretty much all the finish. Nowadays you see all those different games. They do Inverno de la Riva, all those different hook guards and stuff like that. And still continue creating, developing different styles. And that's, I think, Jiu-Jitsu is nowadays. You never know what comes next. When you compete in your A game, we're really much careful, like we just do what you're very comfortable doing, and I believe too, like we tend to hesitating a lot when you go to competition, Sometimes on the mats, like you training, you can do a lot better because you don't care if you getting tapped or not, if you get swept or not, if you get passed, you keep trying stuff, try different things. You open up your game a lot more, and that's the fun way to do it. Otherwise, if you always try to play the mentality of a competition on a match, people won't like to train with you, because you always want to win, so you don't want to even take a risk and stuff like that. So I think that's the big difference, So stay focused on that. So that's where I like to. I think it's the intensity, when you're getting ready to compete like in a world level, world class. You try to become a world-class competitor, we have to train like one, Otherwise, we're just gonna be a regular black belt, which just comes down with the knowledge, I'm sure sometimes because we compete, we are aware of all the new things coming up, So we stay really active, we update what things come, the new things coming in Jiu-Jitsu, So the regular black belt, they have just as lifestyle, come over here, hang out with friends, They have their workout done, They have the knowledge, kind of close a lot of knowledge than we have, and they not just train intensity that we do, I don't change much my resolution. I just try to get better that I was doing before, And I'll continue the same calendar, I'm planning doing Pan Am's, Worlds, and the ADCC. That's I think the new thing that I'm trying to get in, do the tryouts, and then if I pass the tryouts, I will go for the ADCC. I'll be putting some more energy into the training the MMA fighters, Nowadays I started working with Alice Overeem, John Jones decided to move here in town, so you should expect him come here to our school and training too, So I'll be focused a little bit on that too. And then my own business, grow my business. We plan to have our 4th school here in town, by the East Heights here. So we have a lot of goals to accomplish, So it's always like planning, like slowly, probably by the summer we should have our new schools, So those plans, it was kind of similar that I had last year, And I'll just try to continue doing that, So stay active in the competition. I got married last year, so that was like my goal last year. So just pursue, the marriage life and stuff like that. Shout out to the MMA win and Joaquin, for the opportunity, to participate here in this interview. Come down to the school and visit us, all the Gracie Barra team as well, for the support, and especially the Gracie Barra New Mexico here. This is my family, my team, my guys. They always push me, root for me, and that's it.